Hello everyone, it's UnsungNPC back here with another Prestige class video for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at a modded Prestige class that comes from the mod A Touch of Magic, which I use alongside Call of the Wild. All it does is add two Prestige classes. This is one of them. It is the Arcane Archer. Alright. The Arcane Archer is a really cool prestige class, and I think one of the reasons why I like it so much is that you can kind of start with any type of archer, right? And then go into it very easily. Um, Now, there is an archer archetype for the mages, which works in a different way, in my opinion. So, I can see how that might seem like the way to go here instead of just worrying about taking a whole other class. But I think there's some cool things that this class does that other classes might not do. And I think that there's a really good opportunity for having a lot more spells with this if you want to be a more spell-focused archer or a more archer-focused archer. I feel like the mage's archer does like archery and spell casting both kind of well, but it doesn't do either of them really well in my opinion, and I think that this one can do either of them very well. Um, so they prereqs are pretty standard stuff for archery and spell casting. Honestly, a lot of this stuff is stuff that you take in the beginning levels anyway if you're an archer. For instance, point blank shot and precise shot. If you're an archer and you don't have those already, you need them anyway. So this is like a very easy thing for you to get, especially if even if you're doing like ray spell casting, you still need those. So you're gonna have those anyway. Base attack bonus 6 means that you have to wait until you're a higher level to do this. Honestly, I would just wait till I'm 10th level anyway, because prestige classes only have 10 levels. So you might as well wait until you're level 10 of whatever other stuff you're doing. That way you can just go into your prestige class and take it all the way to 20. That's what I do. But if you want to do it early, you could try to get it somewhere between 6 and 10. It depends on what class you start with, because not everyone has a base attack bonus increase every single level. Especially like just archery and casting level class. The ability to cast arcane spells at first level makes sense. You can't be an arcane archer if you don't have any arcane, right? And then weapon focus in either the longbow or the short bow. That's right, there is no crossbow with the Arcane Archer. You're not an Arcane Bolter, you're an Arcane Archer, which means you do short bow or longbow, okay? I don't think these prereqs are that hard to attain. I think that's one of the reasons why I love this class so much, is because it's so attainable for you that it's really easy to get. So we're gonna go through the abilities here, kind of talk about what they can do. The Arcane Archer proficiencies adds simple martial weapons, light armor, medium armor, and shields. Right? Enhance arrows magic. So every non-magical arrow an Arcane Archer knocks and lets fly becomes magical and gains a +1 enhancement bonus. Yeah. Imbue arrow. When the arrow is fired, the spell's area is centered where the arrow lands, even if the spell could normally be centered only on the caster. Okay? This ability shows the archer allows the archer to use the bow's range rather than the spell's range for casting spells. So it only works on spells that cast in a standard action. Yep. Standard casting. Oh, uses its standard casting time. Standard is swift action. Probably can't be used for the full round. Past that action. The Arcane Archer can fire the arrow as part of the casting. If the arrow misses, the spell is wasted. Careful with that. But you use them at the same time. You don't have to toggle like the magus does to do spell combat. It's just imbuing the arrow with your spell, and it works on all matter of spells. So you can do touch spells, you can do personal spells, you can do area of effect spells, anything like that. Cast it at them, which I think offers a lot of versatility. Arcane spellcasting, this just lets you get your spellcasting as you would from the spellcasting class you had getting into this. Just continues on your spellcasting level up. Enhance arrows elemental. So at 3rd level, every non-magical arrow gains one of the following elemental-themed weapon qualities: Flaming, Frost, or Shock. Okay? We'll see some other ones that we get as we level up, but at 3rd level, you get Flaming, Frost, or Shock. And you just get it. There's no, like, it doesn't take away from anything. It's still a +1 magical arrow. It just also gains Flaming, Frost, or Shock. Which is really a Seeker arrow. Okay, so only an unavoidable obstacle or the limit of the arrow's range prevents the arrow's flight. So if the target's too far, or there's something in the way that literally just can't be moved around like a wall, then the arrow stops. But anything else, any other type of cover, invisibility, anything like that, the arrow hits like it normally would. So it negates cover and concealment modifier, which is really, really cool. You can use this once per day, and then at 4th level, and 1 additional time per day every 2 levels, up to a maximum of 4 times per day, because this is a 10 level. Then you get a free archery feat. Yeah. Then you get the phase arrow, which does go through walls and unavoidable obstacles. So it's like the secret arrow, but it does go through stuff. And you can use that once per day at 6th, up to 4 times per day at 10th, so 3 times per day total. Next is the Enhanced Arrows Burst, which on top of the qualities adds, you get Flaming Burst, Icy Burst, or Shocking Burst. So it replaces the elemental qualities and then turns them into burst attacks instead. So every time you shoot one of these elemental arrows, it's going to explode, which is. Then you get Hail of Arrows, where once per day, an archer of 8th level or higher can fire an arrow at every single target within range. I cannot stress how powerful this is against just heavy mobs, especially with stuff like maybe goblins or wolves, or where there's a lot of them. Just being able to just be like that's just unbelievable ability. Really, really cool. And then Enhance Arrows Aligned. This changes your weapon quality. On top of the Elemental Burst, you also get Anarchic, Axiomatic, Holy, or Unholy. It has to match your alignment. So you can choose any of them. If you're true neutral, you can do any of them. If you're an alignment that doesn't have a neutral, you can't pick the opposite. So if you're lawful good, you can't do chaotic or evil. Okay? Make sense? And then the Arrow of Death. It's a very powerful arrow. The DC of the arrow is 20 plus the archer's charisma modifier. So being a charisma caster going into this is going to be beneficial. It takes 1 day to make it, apparently. I don't know how that works in game. But if they fail the DC, they die. You just kill someone with this ultimate death arrow, which is really, really weird. You can only have 1 in existence at a time. I don't know how this translates, because I know the modders just kind of take the descriptions from tabletop. So I don't know how this translates. Like a game, but that's pretty. But I love this class. I think it just offers a lot of versatility. I like big boom arrows, especially if you combine it with the elemental damage from your bow. Like having both of those elemental damage is just like so much damage. Imbuing spells is really cool, especially the idea of imbuing spells like Fireball. Oh man, that is just too good. And then Hail of Arrows, love. Arrow of Death, really, really interesting. So, classes that can go into this easy. I'm going to tell you, being an archer is going to be a way to go. But also I think being a caster first is going to be the easiest. Because those feats that you have to have can be taken whether you do archery or not. It doesn't matter. But, and you get you gain proficiency from taking the Arcane Archer Prestige class anyway, so if you aren't proficient with those bows yet, you will be. It doesn't matter. So I recommend a charisma-based caster. So I think bards could be cool. You'd have to wait, like, I don't know. Bards for me, it depends. There's the Arrow Song Minstrel, which is kind of cool actually. So that could actually work. And they already get some like Acid Arrow, Flame Arrow, Hurricane Bow, like different spells for it as well. So maybe Arrow Song Minstrel is a really good way to go. You do have to wait till you're +6 BAB, which is level 8 as Arrow Song Minstrel. So you have to wait till you're level 8. But like I said, I would just wait till I'm level 10 anyway. Then you'll have the Jack of all trades and all that stuff. So this could actually be really good. You do get longbows, so you could be a longbowman with the Arrow Song Minstrel. I think that the Sorcerer is the best charisma caster. So Sorcerer could totally work for it. Depending on the type of Sorcerer that you do, you'd want a bloodline that kind of meshes well. So looking at the bloodlines, I think that, like, one of the elemental bloodlines would be thing to do. But you'd have to see. There are some bloodlines that give stat bonuses, and I think those would be cool, especially if you use like a composite bow, and then you get to add on strength to damage with those. That would be a really cool combination with like the Abyssal bloodline or one of the Dragon bloodlines. So I think that would be really interesting. That would be a cool combination to get some bonuses to strength or natural armor and stuff like that. I wouldn't be a Slayer. Honestly, a Slayer or a Ranger might not be the best fit for this because Ranger does Divine casting, first of all. And you need Arcane casting. And the only Arcane casting Slayer is Stygian Slayer, and they only get a little bit, and it's only illusion magic, which is going to be very helpful for Imbue Arrow. Scald could be good for the same reason that a Bard is, right? Not as good as the Arrow Song Minstrel, though. I know Summoner's Charisma, but a Summoner just works really well as a solo class. I would not multi-class with the Summoner at all. Man, I don't know. I can't think of anything else that I would do. I feel like Sorcerer is good, especially a strength-based one. I feel like Arrow Song Minstrel is really, really good. Oracle is Charisma. You could be an Oracle. I don't know what archetype I would do. Honest. They do get a good amount of spells, though. So maybe Oracle's a really good choice. I mean, yeah, I don't know what mystery I would take. Honest. Yeah, I don't know. It will be, some of these are pretty interesting, though. It'd be interesting to see what you could come up with, but Oracle is Charisma. So that's definitely an option. Yeah, that's really all that I would mess with here. Arcanist uses intelligence and charisma, so you could be an Arcanist if you really wanted to, because it kind of focuses on both. They just don't get a lot of spells. Like, even the Oracle gets more spells than these guys. In terms of spell slots, anyway. These guys know more spells, but the Oracle has more spell slots. Um, and I always go for spell slots over. I still think Strength-based Sorcerer might be the best one. Aerosong Minstrel a close second. Scald or Oracle could pass. Arcanist if you really want to do something different. But I think Strength-based Sorcerer is just going to be king because those bonuses to Strength just means bonus damage for your composite bow. And all of the best bows in this game are composite bows. Okay, they are not regular bows. They are composite ones. Those are the best ones in here. All of them. So that's my recommendation for this, but that is the Arcane Archer. It's a pretty cool class. It's very broad. I think there's a lot of different things you could do it, especially compared to like the Altori Sword. This isn't very specific, very easy to attain. Kind of need these feats anyway. I think that it's a very, very interesting class. I really, really like this one. I actually tried to play it a while ago, but I had already just beaten the game, so I didn't really want to play it right away. But I think the Arcane Archer would be a really, really interesting class to like dive into. Bows are cool, but there's so many cool like different weapons out there that I prefer to specialize in. But there are really good bows in this game. I think this class holds up really, really well in this game, and I totally recommend it. And I'd recommend the mod, A Touch of Magic. You can find it in the link in the description below with all my other mod links. It's also on the website for Call of the Wild. Alec92 has composed a list of mods that they recommend with their mod, and A Touch of Magic is one of them. So they do work together, which is great. So I would definitely check that out. If you want to do something kind of more ranger or divine caster where that's an archer, tomorrow or at some point I will be releasing the Deadeye Devotee class, and that's going to be the Arcane Archer, but divine. Literally just a divine Arcane Archer. So it's a divine archer. This is the arcane one. They're the same but different types of magic. So be on the lookout for that. If you want to make sure you get here in time, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Catch out my other videos. Eventually, I'm going to be doing a Let's Play series. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be super. So go for it. Whether you're new or a veteran player of this game or the tabletop, thank you for sticking around and watching my video. I super appreciate it. Check out my other videos. Check out these mods that I'm playing with. They're super fun. If you've already beaten the game and you need something to kind of refresh your experience, I definitely recommend it. Check that out. And guys, in the next one.